Welcome to our restorative yoga session or practice today. So to set yourself up for this restorative practice, you might have a couple of blocks. So I've got a couple of blocks handy here. If you don't have blocks, you can use towels, you can maybe use a book wrapped in a towel. It's really super handy to have some yoga blocks. Sometimes that might be a little bit of a challenge if you are traveling, but you can use some. You've seen me use a water bottle before in one of my tutorials as a yoga block, so anything is possible, but super handy to grab yourself some yoga blocks here. So this is a bolster. I'm lucky enough to have this bolster here with me today in my travels. So if you have a bolster, grab it now, because this is going to be used throughout our practice today. If you don't have a bolster, you can use a pillow. It's going to be equally as effective, or maybe even two pillows. If you're one of those people that likes really super soft, squishy pillows like me, then you might want something that's a little bit more supportive. And these bolsters are actually quite nyeh. That's code for firm. So where are we going to start today in our restorative practice? And we're going to start in a seated pose, and we're going to ground our hips down to the earth, close the eyes down, and just bring the right hand over the left, resting the palm on top of the other palm. Sorry, the palm on top of the other hand. Taking a deep inhale breath. We're in Sukhasana, our easy seated pose. We're just finding a calm space from which to begin this practice. So this restorative sequence, it's nice and slow. It's low and grounded and connected to the earth. We're just going to gently open up through the body and feel supported and loved in the space. So you might feel yourself grounding down and connecting in with the earth to your mat. You might feel yourself sinking backwards a little bit towards the back of the hips, feeling that grounded connection. As you connect in with breath, feeling the length through the spine, the crown of the head drawing towards the sky, creating infinite possibility. Relax the shoulders, relax the belly. As you follow the journey of the breath, allow the breath to enter the body through the nose, journey down the back of the throat into the belly, feel the belly expand. And as you exhale, feel the belly draw back towards the spine, the lungs deflate, the ribs contract. And you can just continue to follow the journey of the breath here, the inhale and the exhale. You might find yourself slowly lengthening that inhale and lengthening the exhale to match. That in-breath, inviting all that fresh oxygen into the body, and the out-breath, getting rid of anything that is no longer serving you. Just taking another 5 rounds of breath here, relaxing into the hips. Relax the knees, relax the shoulders, maybe even relax the eyebrows. Finding that space of calm. So throughout this practice, I'm going to invite you to think of the colour pink. The pale pink that you find in a rose. And it's that pale pink, so soft and delicate. And that's how I want you to feel about your asana today. Your postures in this practice today. Like that rose petal, soft pink, and just being and being relaxed. And it's that colour pink that where your imagination comes into play and allows you to soften into each posture. So like that velvety softness of the rose petal. So I invite you to bring that imagery into your practice today, and with each inhale and exhale breath, allow yourself to soften into your practice. So you can keep the eyes closed through this practice today, or I invite you now to open the eyes and come back into your space. We're going to take the bolster over to the left-hand side of the body, and we're going to open the right leg, taking the knee into the foot. So it's almost like what we would call a hurdle pose. Take the left hand to the outside of the bolster, and you're going to take the right hand to the front side of the bolster, and you want the bolster to be back into the hip space here, so you're getting a nice twist. Take an inhale breath, and as you exhale, surrender the body down to the bolster. You can walk those hands forward if you like, and you might have the head to the front as we start out in this restorative posture. Connecting to the inhale breath, and as you exhale, allowing yourself to surrender down into the bolster, or your pillows, or your rolled up blanket, whatever you've got supporting you in this place right now. So we're going to stay in each of these asana for, well, you can stay here as long as you like. You can stay 3 to 5 minutes. We're going to stay and work through this for the purpose of this video for roughly about 10 breaths in each place. So as you're working into the posture, as you start to surrender using the in-breath and the out-breath, deep inhale, creating a little bit of space, and that exhale, allowing you to surrender into the pose. As you feel the body start to opening up, you might actually lift the head, and you might place the head down, feeling a little bit more of a twist here. And as you start to continue to opening up through the pose, you may even take the head to the back of the room. And you may even take this right arm and bring it up and over the bolster, relaxing the hand and working into this deeper variation of this twist. We're going to stay here for another 5 rounds of breath, wherever you are. Inhale, outhale and surrender. So again, in this posture, you can stay here as long as you like. We're going to stay here for another 2 rounds of breath. Long, deep breaths. 1 more round of breath. And to come out, we're going to bring the hand first. And we're going to gently walk the hands back towards the hips. Press the hands into the earth to lift the upper body. And come back to the center. Bringing our right leg back in. And we're going to swap the bolster over to the other side. Bringing that bolster into the hip, taking the left knee out to the side, creating our hurdle pose. Inhale, finding our twist. Hands are just in front of the body so that you can feel a little bit of lengthening happening here. And as you exhale, walking the hands forward and surrendering the upper body down to the bolster. So this is a lovely restorative pose. Again, you can stay here as long as you like, because it feels really lovely. A little bit of opening through the side body, a little bit of a gentle twist, a little into the hips, but mostly we're feeling that
supported connection. So again, the use of imagery here or visualization, that colour pink, that soft pink of the rose petal allowing you, that velvety texture that the rose petal has, is the texture of your body in this asana. The in-breath and the out-breath allowing you to surrender. It's nice to close the eyes in these asana. Just feel that disconnection from the rest of the world and that deep sense of relaxation, restoring energy, calm. You might like to bring the head down to the mat. You may like to take the head all the way to the back of the room, deepening the twist. And you may like to take that left hand, elbow onto the bolster, opening up through the left side of the body. Wherever you are, you're going to take another 5 rounds of breath here. Nice and slow, just letting go. Trying not to hold on to anything. With each breath, releasing what no longer serves us to make room for what will serve us in our life by design. One more breath here. Releasing the hand back down. Inhale, turning the chin back to the bolster, walking the hands back to the hips. Inhale, lifting the body and coming back to our center, crossing the legs and just taking a moment here in Sukhasana to reground and connect. So you might even feel just after that first posture the calming effect of that twist and those first few restorative breaths of this practice. So our second posture today is going to be caterpillar. Now we're going to take the bolster in between our legs at the front, and we're going to extend the legs out in front of us and just have the bolster resting on the legs. Or you might even rest, depending on your flexibility, hands around the bolster here and resting forward. So I'm going to turn side on to demonstrate this posture to you as well. It really depends on your flexibility. So if you're a little bit more flexible, you might find yourself here. But it really is a resting pose, and it depends on the openness of your back body and of your hamstrings. So I'm just going to turn side on to demonstrate this. Digging that down into the earth, and we're just going to rest the forehead. And so this can be your variation today. You might even slide the bolster further forward, and this could be your variation. You can also do this with blocks. But what we want to do is take the pressure off the back of the neck, the weight of the head away from the body, because the head's the heaviest part of the body, and so neck's working really hard all the time. So this is why we're in our restorative, we're actually using the bolster here to take a little bit of pressure off so that the body can relax. You might even like to shift the butt cheeks out of the way here. And you can just rest the hands, palms up as a sign of receptivity, being open to change and evolution. We're taking some deep inhale breaths and deep exhale, allowing yourself to surrender with each breath, opening up into the back body, into the hamstrings, Just being here, practicing kindness, compassion to the self, a little bit of self-care, some deep belly breathing in this lovely restorative forward fold. No pressure on the neck. Then as you feel yourself starting to deepen into this posture, make any adjustments that you might like to make. Try and let go of anything that you're holding on to. We're going to take 5 more rounds of breath here. Again, you can stay in these postures for as long as you like. Feeling those lovely long deep inhale and exhale as you surrender the body down to the bolster and surrender the body to the earth. Hands, palms down to the earth, rolling up through the back body. Coming all the way to seated. Be quite gentle with yourself as you're coming in and out of these asana, because you have been quite relaxed in these poses. Make sure you come out with care and compassion, looking after the self, so that you don't get dizzy. You don't want to rush in and out of these postures. So I'm going to bring the body back to the front, and this time we're going to take a very similar posture, but we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold this time. So we're going to take the legs out to the side. They don't have to be like super wide, massive splits. We're not flexing the feet or doing anything complex there. I'm just going to move my butt cheeks out of the way there, so I'm really grounded and connected with the sit bones down to the earth. And again, we're going to rest forward onto the bolster. So this is where your blocks might come in a little bit handy, because you might need to do a little bit of stacking here, a little bit of like Lego building. So we're going to relax the hands down. We're going to take an inhale breath. And as we exhale, gently walk the hands forward and relax the body down onto the bolster or onto the blocks. So this is a lovely deep forward fold. No, we're not necessarily flexing the feet are relaxed. Heels are into the floor, and you can feel a little bit of extension through the legs there by lifting the heels and pressing those into the earth. And then gently releasing anything that you might be holding on to as you forward fold and relax into this space. And it might be that you can have the hands palms up to the ceiling. And if you're a little tighter in this posture, maybe you're not even down here, you might be here. And you may require the hands for a little bit of support. So press the elbows into the shins. Sorry, into the quadricep here, just above the knee, for a little extra support. And then as you start to feel yourself softening into the posture, you can drop that block down. So this is about self-care and whatever it is that allows you to start this journey into opening up the body. So it might be that your belly is all the way down on the bolster. And the crown of the head drawing forward. With each inhale and exhale, just allowing yourself to surrender a little bit deeper. And being open to that change and that evolution. So sometimes we might feel really restricted in some of our movements, and it starts to make us question what pain is and where we hold on to that in ourselves. Comfortable discomfort is good. Sometimes I think we hold on to pain, and a lot of it's in our heads that we go, oh, that's going to hurt, and so we hold ourselves back a little bit without really ever finding our edge and going past that and opening up into different areas of the body and letting go of some of the emotional content that sits alongside that, because pain for us quite often is associated to something that occurred within our life, an injury or even a deep hip opening might be related to something that was an emotional challenge in our lives. So just trying to let go of that and work through and past that space. You might feel yourself opening up just a little bit more, but check in and just say, is this a stretching pain? Is this my change and evolution, or is it a sharp, numbing pain that I can't get past? And the trick is that if you can hold it for another 3 breaths, hold it for another 3 breaths. And then check in with yourself and see if you found that edge and allowed yourself to push past it just a little bit further. We're going to take 5 more breaths here. Sometimes yoga is about letting go, using the breath just to let go of stuff that we've been holding on to, things that no longer serve us anymore. Allowing our bodies to release and let go, and that's why this restorative practice is so beautiful. Two more rounds of breath. And with your next inhale, turning the hands, palms back down towards the earth. Gently walking the hands back towards the hips. Taking the bolster out of the way. You might like to even bring the legs back together here. Give them a little bit of a rock and roll side to side, just so that you can feel that lovely sense of relaxation. So our next posture is a Baddha Konasana. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Now this posture, if you're not as open in the hip space, and you might have your knees a little bit like me in this, a little bit elevated, one of the tricks here, so that you can feel the release of the legs, is to actually get yourself some blocks. And as you come into this Baddha Konasana, and we don't have the feet right up towards the groin here, I'm just going to use the blocks as a support underneath my thighs here. And what that does is it gives my hips a little bit of respite in the posture. I'm lifting up through the body. What I'm going to do is sink back towards the hips, towards the back of the room. So I'm creating a little bit of a concave shape in my body here. I'm going to bring the bolster over the top of my feet. And again, you can use 2 bolsters here. You can stack this with blocks, or you can bend the bolster. So it's a pretty attractive little setup that we've got going on here. We're going to take an inhale breath. We're going to exhale and release here. So if you're a little bit more flexible in this space, you may not require that height of the bolster. I'm just using this to demonstrate for you today. And you may not even require that height underneath the hips. You might be able to let that go a little bit more. It may even require, sometimes even just a rolled up towel or a face washer can be really helpful, just to give a little bit of support underneath the thighs there. And again, you're going to have the hands, palms facing up to the sky, and just relax the body down. Bringing your head down towards the bolster.
and ignoring some of that banging that's going on in the background. Taking a deep inhale breath. As you exhale, surrender down. Letting go of any tension that's in the neck, the shoulders, the back body. Releasing any tension from the hips. And knowing here that you are loved and supported. You might like to reconnect with that vision of the colour pink and that rose petal, and invite your body to soften into this space. Seeing that imagery of that very soft rose petal, that pale pink velvety rose petal, and just allowing the body to soften in this space. Allowing the hips to open, the knees to fall out to the sides. We're going to take 5 more rounds of breath here. You might feel yourself opening up a little bit into the posture. Letting go of anything that's no longer serving you. Three more rounds of breath here. Gently turning the hands, palms down to the earth. And walking the hands back towards the hips, gently and slowly. So re-engaging as you come to the top and allowing the body to just have that moment or two of adjustment here. So again, don't rush through these postures. I know we're only staying for sort of 10 or 12 breaths in each space for the purpose of this video, but you should feel free, absolutely, to stay a little longer in any of these postures as you move through this practice. So gently taking the blocks out if that was something that you were using to support your forward fold here in Baddha Konasana, and then removing the bolster. And we're going to come down to supine space now, so we're going to be lying on our backs. And we're going to have the bolster just underneath the knees. Bring the heels up towards the edge of the bolster, grab hold of the knees, and just allow yourself to roll back. And then move the blocks so that we can still have conversation. So right now the bolster is just at the back of my knees, and I can feel it back of my thighs. And I'm just going to gently rest my knees together and just allow my hands to fall out to the side of the bolster. Tucking my chin into the chest, just ever so slightly. Maybe elbows underneath, pressing into the mat so I can tuck my shoulder blades underneath. And I'm just going to stay here in this restorative pose for just a moment. And in our yin practice, we call this constructive rest. And after you've done a few forward folds, it's actually really nice just to come to this space and surrender the whole back body down to the earth and feel that loving, supported place, your connection to the mat, to the earth, and to the breath. Feeling the whole back body grounded and connected, and particularly after we've had our forward folds and our wide-legged forward folds and the opening of the hips. Right now we've got the hips nice and square and we're joining the knees together and just feeling this space of rest. I'm going to take another 4 rounds of breath here.
to do but surrender down to the earth. Let go of anything that's no longer serving you. With each breath, allow the out-breath to take those thoughts away. Any tension you might be holding on to. Another 2 breaths in this little constructive rest space. I'm going to gently invite you to press the feet into the earth and open the knees up so they're at roughly hip width. We're going to press the feet into the earth, gently lift the hips, slide the bolster back and allow the hips to rest down onto the bolster. This feels really good, this posture. So here we have our sacrum supported. You can feel the sacrum pressing into the bolster, and it should feel quite stable and it should feel very comforting, in fact. So the whole pelvis is rested on here and feeling supported. So the hands are down by the side of the bolster, and all we're going to do here is extend the right leg and extend the left leg. So we're feeling a little opening through the front body here. So if this feels quite intense for you as a front body opening, you can actually take another bolster and pop that or towel underneath the ankles here, so the ankles are slightly elevated. And just that little elevation is still going to allow you that opening through the front body here and the shoulders down, but you're just not going to feel, perhaps you're going to take just a little bit of pressure off the lumbar spine here. So if you're comfortable in this space, just stay resting here. You can extend the legs out the front, heels going to the mat, and you can feel that gentle pull forward, opening the front body through the hips. And what are we going to do here? Absolutely nothing. We're just going to stay. Sometimes one of the trickiest things that we need to learn is unlearning all the thoughts and actions that run through our brains and bodies every day. So this posture is the ultimate surrender. We're not doing anything. Kind of thinking, what is the benefit of this? The benefit is allowing the body to let go. Close down the eyes and connecting with the breath. Take deep belly inhales, and as you exhale, open the mouth and just let that go. Feel the body surrender and sink into the earth as you open the mouth and let that sigh happen. And the sigh is like a signal to the body to let go. So you know when you finish an assignment, or you just run up a set of stairs, or you get to work on time and the body goes, oh, thank God I made it. It's that signal that releases our intention to relax. You can take that moment of reprieve. And sometimes taking a sigh in practice signals to the body that momentary reprieve, so you can sink a little deeper into this space of relaxation. So again, you can stay here for as long as you like. We're going to stay here for another 5 rounds of breath. You might feel this opening through the hips, you might feel it opening through the belly. You might feel yourself sinking deeper into your connection with the bolster. Two more rounds of breath. With your next inhale, just going to bring the left foot back to the bolster and then the right foot back to the bolster, and so you might feel the upper body shift just a little bit as you realign. And I want you to take the right foot up to the ceiling and then the left foot. And this is a supported variation of our waterfall pose or Viparita Karani. So our feet are hip width apart, a little bit of a bend in the knees, and you should feel quite comfortable just to stay in this posture. You can have the hands remaining by the side body, or you can take the hands out to the side, and they can sometimes act a little bit like training wheels so that you can keep your balance here without being too engaged in the whole process. This is a really lovely inversion, said to get all the same benefits that we get in our shoulder stand, but without that pressure into the shoulders and the neck. You can still draw the chin in towards the chest, feeling that extension through the cervical spine. Shoulders, allowing them to relax back down into the earth, feeling the weight of the legs coming down into the hips, into the bolster. So even though our legs are extended up towards the sky, feel a heaviness drawing down through our legs into our hips, and that grounded connection to the earth through the shoulders and the back body as we find ourselves relaxing into this posture. So you can also do this posture with the legs up the wall if that's a little bit more supported for you or supportive for you. You can take the bolster, and the bolster can rest up against the wall, and you can put the legs up the wall. Whatever's working for you. We're going to take another 5 rounds of breath here. Deep belly breathing, just letting go of anything that you're holding on to. Really feeling the hips connect and ground down into the bolster. Just karate chop any thoughts that come into the brain, send them away. Say, no thanks mind, I don't need anything here today. I'm resting. Now, restorative practice can be a really lovely introduction to our meditation. So as we start to unwind, connecting with the breath, and find ourselves practicing pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses, that disconnection from anything that's happening around us, sending those thoughts away and allowing us to feel that deep reconnection with the self, finding stillness, sense of calm, and eventually space and clarity, allowing us to find creativity and create a life by design. So we're going to exhale and gently bring the feet back down to the earth. We're going to come into our Shavasana, our final resting pose. So gently press the feet into the earth and slide the bolster down behind the butt. So we've got our whole back body connected down to the earth now. So I'm going to roll the bolster away slightly and bring that behind the knees. So just make any adjustments there so that it's behind the knees. Dig the elbows into the mat. Reconnect with the self. Take a deep inhale breath. As you exhale, surrender and let go. Close down the eyes. Maybe draw the hands a little further away from the shoulders. Chin towards the chest. And just let go. So this is our corpse pose, or Shavasana, our final resting pose for our restorative practice this morning. My knees are supported by the bolster, and this is going to take a little pressure off the lumbar spine. You might really enjoy this variation of Shavasana. Feeling the whole body drawing down towards the earth. Letting go of any connection to the breath. Relaxing the toes, relax the feet, the ankles. Allow the shins to relax. Let go of any tension in the knees. Relax the legs, the quadriceps, the hamstrings. Let go of any tension in the hips. Release the belly. Allow the belly to relax down to the earth. Relax the back body. Feel that deep connection. Allow the ribs to melt down into the earth for each breath. Feel the release of tension from the shoulders. Feel that wave of relaxation traveling down the arms to the elbows, the forearm, the wrists, the hands palm, and each of the fingers and the thumb. Relax the neck, relax the head, relax the hair, the eyebrows, relax the eyes in the eye socket, relax the nose, the cheeks, the jaw, rest the tongue, slightly separate the teeth, and just be. I welcome you to stay in this Shavasana for as long as you like. This deeply nurturing, restful pose. Allowing you connecting with Pachamama, Mother Earth. Restoring and renewing. If you're ready to come out of the space, bring the knees up to the chest, roll the body to the side. No. Gently rolling up and coming to a seated space. Sorry for that little interruption there. Bringing the hands to the heart center. Sitting back into the hips. Gently bowing the head. Taking a deep inhale and exhale. Taking a moment here in this space to thank yourself, giving yourself time for your restorative practice today, for practicing compassion, kindness to the self, allowing the body to rest and renew. If you like, you can stay here and perhaps find yourself in a little extra meditation. Bring the hands down to Universal Mudra and stay here in this space of pratyahara and meditation for as long as you enjoy. And when you're ready to come out of the space and reconnect with the world, gently opening the eyes and coming back into your space. And take as much time as you need. Just being kind to the self and practicing that compassion. And allowing all those experiences and openings of the body to just be with you in the next few minutes as you gently reawaken and come back into your practice. Thank you for being with me in this restorative practice today. Namaste.